Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. And we are back, and it's time for another fun class here with Michael Stores and Faber-Castell USA. I'm super excited that you all are joining in. Hello, neighbors. I have lots of neighbors in here. Hey, Tina. I was just in Round Rock last weekend. I have nicer temperature than here in Houston. It's still getting so warm. I hope you guys are getting a much nicer temperature weather wherever you're at. So we have some friends from Colorado. We have San Francisco, upstate New York. Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Happy Wednesday. We have some very exciting new product to share with all of you. So in front of me, we have the brand new Black Edition pencils. These are the super soft Black Edition pencils from Faber-Castell USA. These are made from Brazil. Did I say that right? I think so. Yes, it is made in Brazil. I wanted to make sure I got that one correctly. So I have the 36 set in here. So these are available in different sets. There's a tin of 12. I've actually have a copy in here just to make sure I have it correctly. We have a tin of 12 for $10.99. We have a box kind of like this one, a box of 12 for $6.99. We have a neon and pastel colors for $6.99 as well. I believe that's 12 pieces also. And then we have a box of 24 for $13.99, a box of 36, which is the one I have in here, for $20.99, and a box of 50 colors for $29.99. So as you can see, inexpensive pencils, but they're really great quality. All right. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to help you with that. So you can see here, when you open that, you have two of this kind of like cardboard that will hold your pencil in place. I don't know about you. I don't like it when my pencils, if I put it on my desk and they kind of just roll all over. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm like trying to find pencils and pick up pencils all over the floor because they've rolled. So with that being said, very good segue. These pencils comes in a triangular, I don't know if it will pick it up. See that? Triangular shape. So this one will not be rolling around all over the place. So I really, really like this new design. And also, it helps me. I mean, I've been using it for a while, for a month now, because I wanted to really get a good grip. Speaking of grip, I really love the good grip that I get from these pencils just because of that triangular shape. And for some reason, it kind of like it really settles down here on my, this is what I call the cave in between your thumb and your pointer finger. And this is where I hold my pencils a lot, my markers. So it really, really does feels much better. Some people might not like that because, again, everything is personal preference. Some people might like the round shape much better, but this one really feels good in here. So 36 colors. And we are going to be doing some fun, exciting doodles today. I have here some samples in front of me because, like what I said, I have been playing with them. So let's see. This is what we're going to do today. We're going to do some fun Halloween cute doodles because, Halloween is just around the corner. So this one is also, these are all made using the Black Edition pencils from Faber-Castell. So spooky vibes. So you can see the white, see that contrast from the black. One question, can you use this in a different paper, not just the black paper? Yes, of course you can. So this one, I think I used the pastel colors in here. Look how pretty that is. Some gradients and some blending in there. So pretty. We did a little bit of lettering using the pencil. And then we have some more fun, cute doodles in here. I don't know what I was doing in there, but have some scratches. And this one I made some bubbles pop using the pencils as well. All right. Now, if you don't have these pencils, because you might not have them yet, because these are brand new. These are coming to your favorite Michaels, both online and to your favorite local stores close to you. If you do not have these pencils, it's okay because you can use whatever tools, whatever supply that you have. If you're using a marker, then you have to use your markers. If you have other type of pencils, you can use pencils also. But for this one to really get the fun effect. And so you can see the how vibrant the colors are and how opaque the colors are. I'm going to be using some regular black paper in here. If you have other colors, that's great too. But before we start doing the doodles, I want to show you what they look like in both a white and black paper, right? So we can see. I'm going to use pink. I'm just going to pull whatever color we have in here so we can swatch them. All right. This one, I'm just doing a back and forth. I'm going to go zoom in just a little bit so we can see it. Oh, can't find our zoom in button. Let's see. All right. Why is that when you need something done? You can't. Here we go. Zoom in. Hey, Rhonda. Dark blue file folder. Hey, that works. That's going to work. So this time I'm just applying really light pressure and I'm just going back and forth stroke motion here. Okay. And then this one I'm going much, much lighter. And then I'm going to try from light to heavy. Okay. So I'm going to start applying a little bit of pressure so we can lay down more pigments, more colors in there. So we can see that light, slightly heavier to really light, and then applying pressure, right? So you can see those colors. Now we're going to use the same color and we're going to swatch it using this white. This one is a watercolor paper, but the back of a cold press. So there's still slight texture. There's still some tooth in the paper, which is what I really like to use. I like to use a mixed media paper or a hot press watercolor paper for colored pencils. I know there's some papers that are really meant for colored pencils, but I really like seeing the texture, the negative space, a little bit of white in between the colors, you know. I love seeing that because I can really see the texture of the colored pencils. Again, it comes to those personal preference because I know a lot of artists and a lot of people that really like when they have a very smooth coloring. It's almost like using a marker with their colored pencils. And they even use solvent Gamsol to blend it. I personally don't. If I like that look, then I will use a marker. But if I want that textured look, really playful textures, then I use my pencils. All right. So I'm going to do the same light pressure, and then I will apply harder pressure as I move along. Okay, so I'm just going light. So you can see that, oh my gosh. I don't know why our camera doesn't like blue. For some reason, it's given us always a hard time when it's like against the white. This happens. There we go. Let's adjust it. I never use an eraser, but I believe that you can. There's like different types of eraser that you can use for colored pencils. All right, so I'm going to apply pressure softly, then adding more and more, and then really more. As you can see, the colors are so opaque, like that. See? Now we're going to do the orange. And now this time I'm going to do hard to light. So hard pressure. And then I go light to lightest. Like that. I think I've applied too much pressure in there. Now I'm going to do the same. And you can layer them, you can blend them. So if you feel like I want a little bit more in here, then you can burnish this part and really add more, lay down more colors in there. like that. And then I'm going to try and use some eraser here, see if we can erase it. Just regular eraser. Look at that. You can erase it like that. I'm going to do it here. But there's still a little bit of that left. But I feel like here in this black, look at this. They really lifted because this paper right here is much smoother than this watercolor paper that I'm using right here. So I feel like it's, in the crevices of the paper that the tooth. So I feel like those are like in between those little hills and valleys of the watercolor paper. But this paper is smooth. So all that pigment is just right on top. And then I can just easily erase it. Just lifted and erase. See? That's fun. Okay, now the pink one. We'll do a little bit of cross hatching in here. So I'll do the vertical first. A little bit of pattern. Nice, Valeria. That's so beautiful. I almost feel like that this paper, the black paper that I have, is a little too smooth for my liking. But that's the only black paper I have right now. But that's what we have. Look how saturated, how vibrant the colors are, in using the black paper and also using a white paper like that. These are also have super soft leads like this. So you don't feel like you have to really apply a whole lot of pressure. But you know me, if you have been attending my classes, then you know that I really have heavy pressure. So I'm just going to sharpen it because we're going to use the pink and the orange a whole lot. Right. Going to be doing some fun doodling. It's funny because right now, while I'm teaching this class, my 13-year-old daughter is actually decorating for Halloween. We love Halloween. How about you guys? You love Halloween? So she's decorating a room. So you can really create some beautiful gradients here. You can do some blending, some layering. All right, so we're gonna get another color pink in here, like a lighter. And then I'll have a lighter orange as well. I always recommend if you get your colored pencils, in the, I always recommend sharpening them first because always they're kind of like have this not creative, protective layer first so that if you use it, you feel like, why am I not getting a good payoff using these pencils? I always recommend that you sharpen them first a little bit so that that really waxy almost like protective layer that's coating the pencil, the tip of the pencil will come off. So if you have that issue, just kind of sharpen it. Okay. And then I'll grab the white. I want to show you the white, although we're going to use it anyways later against the black paper. This is not applying pressure at all, but just like that. This one is with pressure. All right. That's how opaque the white is against the black. If I want to layer it, let's layer a part of this. So you can layer on top of that. Let's layer it on top of the pink and see how well it will show up. Just like that. Let's layer against that orange. And on top of that blue. So you can use your white pencils as highlighter, adding some highlights, adding some fun details. You can also use your white pencil to lighten up a color, um, so you can layer them and create a pastel shade of that color. That's how I love to use my white pencils. But these are fun, opaque white pencils. These are great. I'm going to grab some blue. I'm going to get the black one because we're going to add some fun kawaii faces in our doodle. So I'm just grabbing some colors. So I want you to do the same. Grab the colors that you'd like to use today. If you're using some colored pencils, it would be the best time to sharpen your colored pencils as well. This is now a great time to do that. I did use a little bit of green here, so I'm going to grab some green as well. I think this green is good. Some teal colors. I have some fun, we'll use some fun colors in here for Halloween. Joanna said, yes, I love Halloween. Patricia too, and Luke also. Yeah. So Rain's decorating. We went to Michael's last week and she's just now decorating. So I'm going to change my office in here too, my craft room. I'll be decorating for Halloween too, so it's going to be fun. All right, so I think I've sharpened them well enough. I love that these pencils are not rolling. Thank you, pencils. Look at all these fun colors, just the blue and the orange and that pink. That's perfect Halloween too. It's almost like purple. Maybe that's like magenta or okay, so what do we have? We're going to draw some pumpkins. Let's draw some cute ghosts, some candles, some treats too, like this, some candies and all that. So when I talk about doodles, doodles are free flowing type of drawing. So when I say I'm going to make an artwork, usually I would sketch first, right? So if I'm creating a drawing, I would start with sketching. But when I'm doodling, I go right in there, whether I'm using a ballpoint pen or I'm using a pencil or a marker, or in this case, we're using some colored pencils. You just go straight right in. But is there any great way to really get better at doodling? The answer to that is practice, really practice, just doodle. I mean, especially simple objects. You start with some simple objects first, an object that you may be already familiar with. For example, the pumpkins. I mean, concentrate on the shape of the pumpkin first. You start from drawing an oval shape, right? Because it is that. Now, how can you make your doodles much better? Well, doodles are sometimes just really plain black or a pencil. I don't think there's anything that is required for you. I think once you start adding shading and more blending, then it truly becomes, another type of work of art. But if you want to do just simple plain doodling, it's usually just line art or um, line work that you're doing, just the outline of the drawing, the doodles. Now, but if you want to use colored pencils, I think it's fun to shade the object. And then while you're at it, maybe add some shadows and a little bit of highlights to just make it even more better, right? So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to concentrate on simple objects, but we're using colored pencils. So we're not just doing the outline of the doodles, but we're coloring everything in. We're going to fill in the shape of the objects, and we're going to do a little bit of blending just to have fun. All right. So are you guys ready? I'm going to get a clean sheet of paper in here, set that aside, and let's start having fun. Okay. Is my screen too dark? I feel like if I make it a little lighter, it might have a hard time picking up the colors again, but I might make it a little lighter because it's slightly too dark. So we'll do that. Here we go. How about we start with some simple shapes? And this is where the reason why I said about doodling, we want to start with some exercises, kind of like when we're doing lettering, right? We practice with the basic drills, the simple upstroke, the downstroke, the heavier pressure. And that's what you can also do when you're doodling. You want to start with just kind of like the basic simple shapes, which are oval, vertical lines, diagonal lines. you do that, you know. So in this case, I want to start with just simple shapes. So bubbles. I'm just going to draw on the sides, just fill in, just so I can have a little bit of, you know, my hands and my brain will be coordinated. I'm just going to draw a simple bubble shape. So, oops, that was a little too pointy. So I'm just going to grab that. And then play around with the pressure you're applying. To actually practice your pressure too. Try some light pressure, medium, heavy, like that. So just basic, simple. We're going to draw 3 shapes of circles. And then when you're filling in your shape, try to apply different types of techniques. For example, I just hear back and forth motion, right? Now, this technique is something that you have been doing ever since you were a kid and you didn't realize that there's actually a term for it. It's called scumbling. Scumbling is kind of like going back and forth in circular motions. And so try that. This is my favorite way to fill in a shape because I really, really love the texture that it does to the image. Instead of just like a clean colored, I'm going to try and find something. For example, look at this candy right here, this treat. See how it gonna goes all over the place, the direction of my strokes. And then notice how this one is, or this one even better. Perfect example. It's just very clean stroke, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This one also has a little bit of texture, kind of like slanted, going in and there. But play around with that and see which one do you like best, because you're the only one who can decide which technique you like to do best. Do you like that very clean, more polished look? Or are you like me where you like a little bit of texture because it's super fun? So nothing, one is not right than the other. So it's just a personal preference. So sometimes I use short strokes or I use longer strokes to fill in an area. And I'm going to do the same on the other side of the paper. This one, I'm going to try to fill in this shape with just doing circular motions, right? Not going back and forth, but just circular and filling in that. Do the same. So these are good exercises that you can try and practice. Great. I got my ovals, my circles. Perfect. Now I'm going to grab my yellow and I'm going to practice my lines. So I'm going to do short lines. You can make it like into an X or a plus sign. So I'm just going to fill in areas. I'm not going to think where. So you're kind of like practicing your diagonal lines in here. Short, slanted lines. Doing the same here. If you are using a marker, you can still do the same technique. If you're using just a pencil or a pen, you know, you can still use the same technique. Fill in your areas with different types of strokes. Like that. All right, we have that. And we're all done. Just kidding. Okay, we are just getting started. Here we go. Now let's fill in the middle part. I want to do, let's go jump right in and let's create a ghost. Where did I put my white color? Oh, it's right here in front of me. Part of getting old. All right, let's do a ghost. Now, when we do a ghost, we're going to start with a frown, almost like a very large frown like this, right? So we're going to go from this to this. Now, be careful because be careful with the size of your ghost. It just depends on what's the size of the paper that you're using. Now I'm using probably this is like a 6x8, so it's not super big. And I want to doodle a whole lot more than just the ghost. So I'm going to play around with my size. I think I want to place my ghost here in this bottom right. So instead of just straight up like a frown, like that, there's nothing wrong with that. I want you to play around also with the direction of where the ghost is facing. If you want it to face right, then you want to play around with it's more slanted to your right side. If you want your ghost to be facing left, then you want your frown to lean to your left side, right? So this one is straight up ghost, face straight. This one, maybe like that. This, and this one, like that, like that. Right. Now for the bottom part of our, for a ghost, we're going to do some wiggly lines or lines. So when I say wiggly lines, it's like this, like that. So that's what we're going to do. Wee. Just like that. Okay, got that part. This one also. So also play around with the with how much it would swoop down, the loops, maybe some are shorter than the other. Like that's maybe one is more bigger than the rest. So play around. Maybe the middle part would be longer than the two sides, both sides, just like that. That's a fun way to exercise, to play around and create your ghost. Okay, so I'm going to do mine here. I'm going to do mine where it's facing to the, I don't know, maybe to the left. So, like that, right? Now we're going to do my wiggly lines, just like that. And if you'd like, you can add like a little tiny arm, just like that. Now for the eyes, I know that it's going to layer very well, the black on top of the white, but to make life much easier, I'm going to draw two oval shapes and we're going to not color in that part. So we're going to leave that black and we're going to color in the rest of our ghost. And again, this is where you can start adding different type of strokes using your colored pencils. If you want to do the scumbling, which I think I'm going to do, but at the same time, I think I'm going to do some short strokes, longer strokes that are facing in different directions. And I'll show you that. So I'm going to color it in, just going back in. So see how we're like, some are slanted. So real, no rules. Remember what they taught you before? Go one direction. I say go all direction. Go all direction and color it in like that. And then I'm not trying to make it look perfect. I think it was Picasso that said, I think, don't quote me, I might be wrong. I think he said, it took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but it took me a lifetime to paint like a child, to, like a kid. So I am nowhere close to painting like Raphael, but I am learning to paint like a child because it's just extremely fun. So fun. All right. It's so funny because when I was first learning and practicing how to draw and paint and color, I was aiming for perfection so much, and then once I've learned the basic, now I go against everything and just have fun. So that's what I want to teach today. Is just you need to just let loose and really just have fun. And that art is subjective, that you can do whatever you want and it's going to be okay because this is your creation. This is your art. No one's going to tell you otherwise. I'm just going back in that oval for the eyes. I'm just going to close in. And then if you want to deepen your color, the opacity, you can just go back in and layer a bit more. If you are done with the layers, then you can burnish, which means just adding a lot of pressure and almost closing in. Think of this as kind of like your final coat of layer, right? This is your last layer. If you want to burnish, that means what's happening is that you've already used up all the crevices of the paper. So it means that there's no more space to fill in. So it might be very hard to um, add more layer on top of that burnishing. So that's your last layer. It should be your last layer like this. Now I want to make this ghost adorable. We're going to use a pink and we're going to add a blush because blush fix everything. Now, if you want to use a black pencil inside your ghost like this, you can do that also. Like that. Oh, Lucy, that means so much to me. Exactly, not perfection. All right, so this time, remember when I said we can take this to the next level, which is still very simple, but just adding a little bit more extras here and there makes it like, oh my gosh, that really truly made a whole lot of difference. So that's what we're going to do today. Instead of just plain white, I want you to grab a blue or a light gray that you can use, and we're just going to create like simple addition of strokes just outside, which makes him a bit more translucent. You can use some pink also if you'd like. This is the same technique that I like to use when I am drawing some bubbles. It's like it gives that almost like translucent effect to it. So add a blue, you can add a bit of pink in there. It's like that. Just lightly, like that. And then I'm going to use the black one just to create a small, tiny mouth. Let's see how well that the black will show up against the white. The little cute little mouth. So cute. Hey, camera, be kind. Stop trying to focus. It's like not being kind to us. Hey, what is happening? There's like a little ghost playing around with my lens. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have our ghosts in there. Another one. I know I just keep adding because I just love you to, add something in here in your drawings. So if you want to add more cuteness to this, what else can you do? Oh my gosh, there's so many ways. You can add like ribbons, and let's do that. So I'm gonna add a ribbon. Oops, I think I broke it again. Gosh, I have such heavy pressure. So look, a two teardrop shape opposite to each other, just like that, right? And then just like that. Then you have like a dark, cute, pretty, dark, cute bow. Look how cute and adorable that is. I'm done. I'm done. And then I think I'm gonna use this paint to add a bit more in here. Ah, it's so cute. You can actually just fill in this one page with different ghosts with going in different direction. It's gonna be so cute. You can frame it, put it in your house, decorate your house with your own artwork, celebrate it because you've worked hard for it. Always. All right. So we have our ghost. That's one. And I want you to practice and just kind of doodle and play around with, many different type of ghosts with different faces and all that. So now let's draw a pumpkin. Again, like what I said, a pumpkin, you usually see it as just kind of like an oval, right? And you can do that. But this one, instead of a perfect circle, what I want you to do is I want you to draw a very kind of like almost stretched wide pumpkin. And I want my pumpkin to be in the middle. So you can do that as a shape first. And we're going to practice in here. Right? So don't do it in your page first. Let's do this. So it's stretched wide like this, right? That's your pumpkin. And usually you just put a stalk in there. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to start with the shape first. Instead of stretched widely, we're going to make a narrow oval, right? It's very narrow. And we're just going to fill it in so we can see it like that. Imperfect. right? Now we're going to follow the shape, but a bit smaller, like this, right? And then we're going to make another belly, almost like a moon. You're drawing a moon, like that. We're going to go fill it in again. All right. Now you draw the same way on the other side. And this is what I love colored pencils, because it doesn't have to be perfect. And when you're doodling, you don't have to be perfect anyways. If you feel like, oh, I gotten too far from it, I'm going to go move in a bit closer, then just add another stroke. Okay. All right. There we go. And then we add another one. You get smaller as you get to the ones to the side. This is my last one. So just be careful of the width of what are we going to call this? The cheek of a pumpkin. So just be careful, because that's how big your pumpkin's going to be. So I'm going to go add another one here, smaller than the rest. All right. I'm just going to fill it in. Right, now you have a pumpkin. Grab a green color and just draw a stalk, just like that. All right. Just simple like that, one step at a time. It's like lettering, one step at a time. And then bring it down just like that. And then we're going to color it in. I'm just going to follow the shape of the pumpkin like this. So I'm just going to follow it and I go move. So following the ridges and that flow to close it in, right? Just like that. And then we're going to fill that space in again. Like that. And then now to make it even better, this where you can start adding in colors. So that's a very light yellow that I've used, the 714. Now I want to go deeper. So what I want is I want to focus on the bottom of my pumpkin and to each side. It's almost like showing the crease. But the way we did it is we have space in between. So it's kind of like showing the crease in between the pumpkin, right? The shape of that pumpkin. So I want to focus on the bottom and just adding a very light layer of that orange. I'm not applying pressure in here, I'm just laying down colors just like that. Just like that. And then I'm going to add a deeper orange again. I'm just going to go concentrate in the bottom again. I'm not going to burnish this yet or apply very heavy pressure, just layering. We're still just layering. Just like that. And then if you have a red or a deeper shade of orange, you might want to grab that. I think I have a red in here. Or scarlet red. This is where it's super fun, because you do blending. And so again, concentrate on the bottom part like that. Just like this. Now to blend everything in, you want to use maybe the second orange. I'm just going to add another layer of that like this. This time I'm just going to try and fix my strokes. So we're going to blend the colors. Bring this up a little. This is the second to the lightest color is what I'm using, right? And then I'm going to go back in with my lightest yellow, the lightest color that we've used. And then just going to fill in the shape. There we go. Now we have the pumpkins. Then you can start adding in your faces in here. Whee! Now I'm going to try and draw mine in my page. So what you can also do, I'm going to show you another way how you can draw your pumpkin. If we added, remember we started with the oval first. We can always start with that as well. Almost like really mimicking the shape of the pumpkin already. One, it's like creating the wave again. Two, three, and then here is just flat. And then I'm just going to go over here and meet that. So we have the basic shape of the pumpkin. I feel like with this style of the pumpkin, though, I feel like it's easier to make a mistake. But if you have been practicing for a long time, then you can go ahead and just do this technique also. But my favorite one is the first one that I've taught you. All right, and I'm just going to do the same process, just fill it in. Look at me having fun, just doing scumbling here, and just different strokes. I just love the look. It's so childlike. It's so not restricting. It's just so freeing and so relaxing at the same time. It's almost like there's no expectation. It's just really pure fun here. All right, then I'm going to add the green. And still bring everything down. And then just kind of like make my own shape here, like what we did. But earlier we followed the shape of the pumpkin that we made. I'm just going to go back and forth and some scumbling effect. As you can see, the green and the yellow, they layer both beautifully also. But see how it's just have a different look. I feel like this is more like a traditional pumpkin. I feel like this is such a childish pumpkin, like my little 5-year-old self drew it. I love it. Then I'm gonna start doing adding the colors again, like what we did. Carrie, I love it too. It's scumbling. So we add that. For you're free as a kid. And it just truly gives that, I don't know, it's so like such a child texture and almost like a children's book. This is the energy I get from it, having the all these textures. It's just so fun. All right, then middle color. Again, same way as I did the first pumpkin, just a different shape. Just concentrating in that bottom like that. Then I'll add the deepest orange. Oh, I think that was the deepest one. I'll add some red. I'm gonna go back in. Since we don't have the crease in between, I'm gonna have to really highlight that using a darker shade. Bless you, Winston. My puppy sneeze. Like this. And then just go back in there. Now this is where you can use the white to kind of create your own highlights. I'll show you that. It's always fun too. It really does um remind me of like cartoons. When you add little tiny details of white, you can add some darker green shade in here. I think I do have some. Like that. there. And then I'm going to use the white to add a little bit of highlights here. See this area right here where it's not filled in intentionally? We're going to add some white there and like that. So you have some extra highlights. And I'm going to use the black to add in our cute face for our pumpkin. Like this. And I'm really applying some pressure here to really get all those pigments down there. Might not see it. I'm going to move it closer to the camera so you can see it in a little bit. And then we can add some blush in here because blush is life. Diana, it's okay if you don't have the pencils. You know what I love to use also is that using watercolor and then add the textures that you can get from the pencils. That's my favorite actually. I love to color in with watercolors because you can cover some a bigger space with watercolors. And then if you want the texture, then once it's dry, you can come back in and just add the scumbling effect that you get. Well, again, my favorite word um, carries too. You can add some scumbling to add the patterns in there. Yeah, I love it. Now you can add some bow and well, in your pumpkin also. I think that'll be cute. We'll add some embellishments later once we're done. So let's do a candle because, hey, right, I'm going to go grab a light pink, which I thought I did, and then a purple. Okay. I'm going to use this one and then this one. We need yellow and blue. I'll grab my yellow and then a deeper blue, the black and the white. Okay. I'm going to draw my candle over here. So what I want with my Kindle is, of course, is going to be a little narrow on top and it goes slightly wider at the bottom. All right. So we're going to draw two diagonal lines like this. So you start with that. Again, like what I said, one step at a time. So one, go down. If you feel like, oh, it's too narrow, then you can always adjust it because we're going to color the space in. And if you're drawing using the watercolors, I feel like once you have, maybe you can use some pencils first to kind of get a feel of the shape, sketch with a pencil and then color in with your watercolors. But if you want to just go jump right in and use the colors, that's okay too. Right. So for this one, remember the wavy lines that we created with our ghost. It's the same way, but this time we're going to spread it to the side first. The end of your candle right here, let's zoom in like that. So I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to bring this out first like this. So that's going to be the bottom. I wasn't joking when I said I do work one layer and one step at a time. And then we add that wavy pattern or wavy line like this. So once you practice and keep doing this, you're really going to get, oh, it's just, I'm going to add this wavy line here or diagonal here or, um, add my ovals and my straight lines and all that. So now looking at this, once I'm looking at my candle, I feel like, especially looking in the camera, I can adjust this part right here. Add a bit more width in here. I feel like it's just too narrow on top. And this is where you make your adjustments, right? And then once you're happy with your basic shape, your basic object or your image, then we start coloring it. Again, with the first layer, we start with very light pressure, okay? Because we're going to do a little bit of blending in here, layering in here. So we're just going to laying down first layer of colors by applying very light pressure just to fill it in. There we go. That's good enough for me. There we go. Luke is asking, can I do a cow? Absolutely, Luke. You can draw your cow and make it look like a vampire. Maybe have, her fangs or but make it cute and adorable, okay? So yes, you can draw a cow. Maybe you can draw your cow with a little cape, make it into a Halloween or a mummy cow. There's so much. Okay, so this time I'm gonna see this area right here, like that, the top of my candle. So we're just gonna add a darker shade to really, because if we're gonna use the same color, it will be hard to differentiate to tell that this is like a melting part of the candle. But with that, because this is art, we can exaggerate things. So we're going to use a deeper shade of blue, or if you have a deeper shade of purple, that works as well. But we're going to make it like this is like a melting candle right here. So it's good that I have a little bit of scoop already right here, right? So we're just going to bring it down, but we're going to bring down a bit more like this. Might be hard to see. I'm going to go on the sides. See that kind of like dripping part right here? Should I use the blue? I'm going to use the blue again. So maybe we can see this much better. Go like that. I'm going to go back in here. Ooh, I did it again. There. I think the blue is much better. Just like that. And then I'm going to close it just like that. And I'm going to fill in the shape with this dark blue. Now to exaggerate it a bit more, I'm going to add a little bit of like drips onto the sides, almost like a teardrop shape, right? Like that. And then a smaller teardrop shape to that side. So cute. And so I think I'm going to add a bit here. If you want like this. It's almost like flicked to the side. And then I'm going to do a white for the middle part of the wick because the black, we won't be able to see it. So we'll do the opposite and we'll use the white part for that. All right. And then we'll grab the yellow, the same that we used. Like this. So again, what shape is that? Almost like a teardrop shape, right? So we're just remaking the same shapes that we're using over and over. Because these images, these objects are just created using the basic simple shapes. And once get used to that, really, it's like, oh, I can do that. I'm just going to use this shape to that or this shape to that. It's going to be fun. Then I'm going to do a light blue and an orange first. So I'll kind of go follow the shape of the candle. I'll just add a little bit of orange just to add some bit of contrast. I'm not laying down colors in the middle because I'm going to put some light blue in the middle here. Just like that. And then maybe use the white to add a little bit of highlights. Just like that. And then now that I'm happy with all of this, I can add a bit more color in my candles and a bit more texture. So when I add, look at that. When I applied, look how the difference, just applying some pressure in here and just really laying down colors. That is so opaque. And so I'll bring it down. So we have a clean blend like that. And then here we can still just fill in this area right here. Diana, if you're using the watercolors, concentrate on adding a bit more pigment over here where the part of the candle is melting. So that's where you're going to add your shading in there. Just like that. I love it. Then I'm just going to use the yellow, the same yellow, to kind of add. I want to do just straight lines. Just to add a bit of that glow to really tell your audience that, hey, this candle is really glowing right here. You can do white also, layer on top of that. You want a bit more lighter and just desaturate that color. Make it a little less vibrant. But that's that. It's so cute. All right. We're going to make some candy to finish this up and maybe add a little bit of small ghosts here and there. So I'm going to move in a bit faster this time. So for our candy, I'm going to make it a little long so we can really get this part right here. So we're going to do a rectangle shape. So I'm going to draw what? Remember when I'm drawing kawaii also, I don't draw just straight lines, right? So everything's kind of slightly curved, slightly rounded. So even the part right here in the corners, I'm going to go round those corners right there. I'm not going to make it like totally straight. So see here, it's like slightly rounded. So even here, I'm going to round it right down the bottom, still round it, just like that. You're so very welcome, Mary. Thanks for tuning in. All right, in the middle part, I want to add a little bit of skull. Now that's me. If you want to add just a circle maybe, and add a little ghost inside. Now I want to add some skull, a little crazy. So I'm going to use the orange. And then I'm just going to draw like this first. So remember, it's almost like a straight up ghost. Remember when we did that ghost earlier? So just like that, an upside down U, right? And so we're going to bring both sides, the left and the right. We're just going to bring that in. Very two short strokes. And then we're going to go one, right? Curved, another one, two, and then another one, three. And then just round it again. Remember what we did with our ghosts. I'm going to leave a blank area right here for my eyes. Instead of just straight, just kind of like imperfect round. Just like that. And a little triangle area for the nose. Right. I'm just going to fill it in. Doing some short strokes. This part right here, I don't think I will be doing a whole lot of blending. So it's okay if we burnish and really lay down colors in here already. And keep this one very simple. I just need to fill it in with colors. Just like that. Like that. Now we're going to go use the same pink for the side of my candy. You can do this straight if you'd like, again, because we're all different, but I like them a little rounder. I think it looks more cuter. So what I'm going to do is all drawing petals and a flower. We're going to add 3 petals right here, right? It's just like long petals. So one, like that. One in the middle. And then another one, just like that. So we're going to do the same to the other side. 1, 2, 3, right? And then now we'll start to color. This one is a much larger space, so I'm really going to play around with my stroke in here. So you can really see the direction. Some are like slanted, some are like leaning to the left, some are straight up, horizontal. You can really play around with the strokes here. Now, when you're using colored pencils and you're doing some blending, I agree that it does take a bit of extra work to really get all the layers in there, especially if you're using like a specialty type of paper, that has a lot of textures, then you have to fill that in. But, the results are just really so worth it also. But then again, sharing just my favorite part is that coloring with or applying your first layer with watercolors, the bomb. Always so good. Look at all that fun texture. I love it. Right, I'm going to go here and do the same here. I'm going to try not to apply so much pressure in the middle because we're going to add 3 smaller petals in there. So I'm going to intentionally go lighter in the middle part so that I can add another layer of pink. Love it. Thank you so much, Luke. You are the best, dude. Like that. Small textures. Oops, I think I added too much pressure in there in that part, but it's okay. Yeah. Right. Remember when I said we're going to add 3 more small petals? We're going to do that. And this time, instead of them being connected, they're going to be individually. So this time I'm going to move my canvas or my paper, just kind of tilt it here so I can add it. So it's again, what shape? Another teardrop. So this time I really want the colors in here. So I'm really applying pressure. I'm laying down the colors in here. So burnishing all that. Because I know that this is the last layer and texture. That's what it's going to look like. See that? Oh, so pretty, so vibrant. So remember that you can move your paper, right? So you don't have to work extra harder if you like need to draw like weird shapes or angles. Move your canvas. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that are going to disagree, but I don't know. It's like less work for me. Now I'm going to add a little bit of details in here for my candy. So I'm going to add like 2 lines parallel. I'm just going to fill it in just like that. I'll do the same on the opposite side and just fill it in just like that. Now you have that candy right here. All right. Oh my goodness, we're already out of time. So I hope that this was so fun. We did a little bit of super fun, and I hope that you've learned some few techniques, very simple ones, but really effective. And I think that's the most important thing of all is that, the simplest technique is something that you can really use, practice, and maybe change a little bit, add your own, and then make it your own, whatever it is. But I hope that this was fun. I truly had so much fun. It's a countdown to my birthday next Wednesday. We have another class. So I hope you'll be here and create with me. It's the best way to celebrate my day is to create with you. But in behalf of Faber-Castell USA, my name is Leibella Ralston. Thank you for being here. On behalf of Michael's Stores, we hope that you had fun and learned with us. Until next time, next week, same time, 5 o'clock Central Standard. I appreciate you as always. Stay creative and stay happy. See you again next time. Bye, everybody.